Good evening, everyone. This is the Amherst Conservation Commission. I'm Andre Gadera, the chair, and we got Rachel Loeffler, Jason Dorney, Bruce Stedman, Alex Hoare is going to be joining us in just a little bit. Aaron Jacques with the town is here, and uh, Dave Zomek is absent today. Um, First up, Chair's report. As of August 1st, 2025, there's been a significant drought declared, and in Amherst, all non-essential watering has been banned. Just for the more accurate description of what's going on, you can check the town website for it. Bruce.
I looked into it a little bit, and it does include vegetables. Ornamentals, flower gardens, and vegetables can be watered. Okay.
All right, except for that, watering of ornamentals and flowers and gardens with drip irrigation, handheld hose, or watering cans may be permitted. Anyway, you can find that probably on the town website. What else? We have been down two commissioners since July, and are really looking forward to more commissioners as we can. It appears we may have a an interview taking place this week. I don't see any new updates. We will be discussing the new regulations that we've had from the subcommittee. It appears that the town attorney has taken a look at them and had a few minor corrections, but given a thumbs up. We should take some final looks at it as we move on, and then present it for public comment and so on. Aaron, is there anything that you had to add to this?
Yeah, so I just to follow up on what Andre said, I assembled all the completed sections and inserted them into the full land use policy regulation document. And there was a couple sections that the subcommittee didn't work on, so those ones were also reviewed. And I think what our thinking was give an opportunity for existing members to look at the document as well. Hopefully we get some new members appointed, they can look at the document and maybe aim for the beginning of 2026 to have a public hearing to hopefully get those on the books.
And it'll be a process. I think the first thing that we can do is take a look at what we've got, and if there are any, what I would like to do is make sure that we take care of any periods, commas, anything that's unclear, and then make sure that and that we're not making any kind of mistakes, that there are no blatant mistakes, which it appears doesn't really have them, but we'll take a look. And then once we're ready with that, then we'll get it out to the public, probably around the beginning of the year, like Aaron said. Bruce, anything from you? No.
No, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anything from in the form of a director's report, or shall we move through?
Just letting everybody know that within the next week, I think the work at Sweet Alice on the boardwalk is going to be beginning. So they're working right now to flag out the boardwalk location, and they are ordering materials. So there's going to be some temporary staging at the Sweet Alice Conservation Area, and the contractor will be accessing in there with vehicles in order to construct the bog bridge. So that'll be happening soon. And yeah, it's very exciting that it's finally underway. And also, Bruce I don't know if folks got the email, but Bruce spearheaded a grant, an MVP grant application, and the town and the surrounding towns that are in the Fort River watershed were awarded. I don't know the exact number, but it was about $450,000 to do culvert assessments, and just a really huge achievement. And we're very excited about that project. So thank you, Bruce.
Awesome.
2 quick points. The objective is to hire young people and train them as culvert assessors. And then probably by spring, have them out assessing culverts, training them first, and then actually assessing as many of the public way culverts as we can in the 5 towns. It's not only culverts in the watershed, it'll be in the towns. And it'll take a couple of years to do them all. The information goes into a database that UMass manages, and that database is used by the state to figure out when towns apply to get either design and planning money or construction money through the MVP process. They use the database to determine who gets the money, because the higher on the list, because you had a higher score, the better. And high scores come from, this thing is in danger of falling apart. So the worse the culvert is, the better the score, the earlier they'll get the money to replace it. And this is important because it enables the towns to get ahead of the problem, so that they're not put in the position, as the DPWs must at some level, when the thing blows out, they just go replace it with the thing that was there before. This enables them to get ahead of it and put in something that will be appropriate for wildlife connectivity and will last for a long time. So that's the purpose of the grant.
And Bruce, those grants are very labor intensive to write and put together. So,
And I did almost nothing. It was Pioneer Valley Planning Commission that did
Okay.
most of the drafting.
okay.
I was the facilitator.
Well, thank you to you and thank you to them.
Yes,
You didn't even
it was
give
good.
credit, huh? Well, it's definitely a good project, or a good
Yeah.
good cause for sure. Cool. Congratulations.
Yeah, it was good.
All right. We have a couple of land use applications. It's 7:13 now. Let me see. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at these before, well, we got a 7:15. Let's do that. Let's take care of these land use applications.
Okay. Do you want me to give a little background on them?
Or whatever, just short, because they're pretty straightforward, both of them.
Sure. So these are annual land use applications that Amherst College submits to us for a macroinvertebrate sampling on the Mill River, and also they do dissection of goldenrod galls from the Sweet Alice Conservation Area as part of their class. And they provide to us the reports from the macroinvertebrate sampling, which provides some insight to us on water quality for the Mill River. And annually, we just provide sort of the standard conditions. And so staff is in favor of issuing both of these with the standard conditions that they provide the results of their studies back to us after the projects are completed.
Nice. And yeah, you had what, 4 years of 4 years?
Mhm.
All right. So, and one of them, yeah, one of them is microinvertebrates. So this is, we were talking one at a time, right?
Yeah, you could approve them one at a time.
Yeah, has everybody had a chance to look at that, and does anybody have any objections? Okay, I've looked at them. I have no objections.
I move that we approve land use application CLU dash 25-19.
Second,
All right, there's a motion to approve in a second. Bruce,
aye.
Alex,
Aye.
Jason,
Aye.
Rachel,
Aye.
I'm an aye too.
I move we approve land use application CLU 20-25-20.
Second,
Jason on a motion, Bruce on a second. Bruce,
aye.
Alex,
Aye.
Jason,
Aye.
Rachel,
Aye.
I'm an aye. That takes care of that. We'll be talking on as far as land management updates. I just did mention earlier that we're going to be looking to move the land use policies forward. So we'll continue that conversation as we go. Aaron, there's so we've been getting a lot of good public comments through the town's website. If you are submitting something to us for consideration that is not, well, yeah, I'll let Aaron explain because I think, but comments that you make are best submitted to us via this public comment portal that the town maintains. Aaron?
Yeah, so I frequently get emails from the public that uh, eh, folks just direct a comment to me, and they don't necessarily say, please forward this to the Conservation Commission. They just send me a comment, a general comment. And unless folks specify to me that they want it shared or forwarded to the Conservation Commission, I don't do that as a general policy because I receive so many of these types of emails from people. The other thing is, you know, we established this public comment form basically to allow people to consent to have their comments posted online. And now that we've moved to a public facing web-based Conservation Commission packet, staff aren't supposed to be, you know, uploading people's personal email addresses because there's personal identifiable information on there. So it's the easiest thing for folks to do if they want to communicate with the commission is to submit through the public comment form. If there's attachments, those can be shared with me and I can share those with the commission or upload the attachments to the packet. I just wanted to make sure that was clear because some folks have been frustrated that their emails weren't forwarded when they weren't asked to have them forwarded. So I just want to make sure that folks in the public know sort of what our general procedures are.
Thanks, Aaron. And now we'll move to our hearings. First, we'll set some general procedures. Each hearing has 20 minutes dedicated to it, 5 minutes for the applicants or their representative, 5 minutes for the staff, 5 minutes for public comment, no more than 2 per person, and 5 minutes for commissioners. Once again, we'll emphasize that all submitted materials or requested revisions be submitted by Wednesday, the week before the meeting, before our meetings by close of business. Make sure that you state your name, address of the project for presenters and who you are, as well as if you have any preferred pronouns, and for the public, name, address, and preferred pronouns. Thank you. With that, we're going to move to our first hearing. This hearing is being held as required by the provisions of Chapter 131, Section 40 of the General Laws of the Commonwealth, an act relative to the protection of wetlands as most recently amended in Article 3.31, Wetlands Protection under the Town of Amherst General Bylaws. This is an RDA, a request for determination from Cold Spring Environmental on behalf of Fred Halkin Family Estate. Located at 317 Shutesbury Road, map 9B, lot 52. And today's the opening, abutter has been notified, and so on. With that, we'll look for our presenters. If you don't mind raising your hand, if you're out in the, when you're out in the public, we'll take a look and bring you in. I see no raised hands so far. Someone from Cold Spring Environmental,
Seeing him. Not sure what's happening there, Andre. Looks like they're not here
Well,
tonight.
that's fine. Why don't, how about we wait a little bit? Is it okay to just wait a bit? Now we'll move on to, it is 7:20, which is
Yeah.
for our next hearing. We may as well do that and check back and see. I don't want to have to put this on another schedule if we don't need to. Okay, so just so that it's clear, what we're doing is we're going to postpone the hearing on Cold Spring Environmental. And we have our hearing number 2, which is a notice of intent, GZA Environmental Inc., on behalf of Archipelago Investments LLC and the Hampshire College for a proposed mixed-use residential development at 0 West Bay Road, map 25B, lots 52 and 0 West Street, map 25B, lot 58. The GZA has requested that we move the public hearing to November 12th at 7:15. I think we should probably update a couple of updates on what we've seen so far. Let me make a quick summary. About 1 month ago, 2 meetings ago, GZA requested that the commission look at the town's wetland bylaws and modify them to look just like the Northampton bylaws, where they have exempted several zoning areas from the town's wetland bylaws. Last meeting, we decided not to, that we've seen enough, and then this meeting, we had requested that they bring all of the materials that they needed so we can make a determination today. There, if you've had a chance to look at your packages, the GZA, Kyle, I don't remember Kyle's last name, from GZA, had sent an email reiterating what he was looking for us to change, which he had given to us already in his PowerPoint. And there was a bit of a mix up in he had intended for that to be shared with us directly, but he didn't request it. Anyway, now we have it. We'll grant another, this last, or I would propose that we grant this next continuation until November 12th, and that we set as a deadline for submitting any paperwork or requested information such as a plan submission, etc., by 1 month from today. In other words, that by October 24th, all of their submissions be made, and that would give us or give Aaron some time to review them and us the chance to discuss them on November 12th. And that will be the last extension unless we find that there's something more. But we right now, as it is, we do not have enough information to approve anything. We've requested that information. The information hasn't arrived at us, hasn't gotten to us. It's been a while. That's what I have to say for now. Alex, well,
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead, Alex.
I just want to remind the chair that the chair is advised to remain impartial until he is heard from commissioners. And I have two motions. The first motion is to deny the applicant's request for continuation.
Yeah, maybe we need to hear from the public too,
Yep,
since we're
And
on.
I
since
have,
we're
can I
on-
continue?
Well, don't you want to do it by the rules?
You are proposing something, and I don't want to get too far down the road on that without putting something else forward.
Go ahead.
I move that we deny the applicant's request for continuation. Reasons. The applicant has given no reason for this request. 2, the applicant has moved for continuance many times. 3, applicant has changed the nature of what it is now pursuing to the extent that it has drifted away from its NOI and has in effect withdrawn its application. That's one motion. Second motion is to deny the applicant's notice of intent for mixed-use residential development. Reasons. Applicant has altered what it is pursuing before the Concom to the degree that its notice of intent has effectively been withdrawn. And if the applicant wishes to proceed, a new proposal must be submitted to be in accord with existing town bylaws and regulations. And those are my two motions.
Well, I think we have to do some discussion, don't we?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Jason.
I was gonna ask, I recall a while ago that we had discussed how many continuances we're willing to grant to any one particular project. This project has had a number of continuances, and one was granted by us as a nicety because they didn't even show up. They didn't send an email. They didn't show up when they were supposed to have a hearing. And then the next hearing they attended, they asked us to change our bylaws so they could build the project. I'm in favor of, I would like to hear from Aaron as far as process is concerned. If we were to deny this request for continuance, does that mean then that their NOI has been also denied? What is the exact language here? And then what are the ramifications? They say they wanted to go to the planning board again. They have another meeting. That's why they wanted to continue this. I don't know what they're gonna. I don't know what the overlap is, and what if we just deny it, is that going to? I don't believe it's going to affect their meeting with the planning board. And it's my understanding that they would just have to file a new NOI. to come back in front of the Conservation Commission again with their new project after their planning board meeting. So I just would like to get a little bit of information from you, Aaron, as far as process.
Aaron?
Right, so, in terms of like, if we didn't grant the continuation, then what that means is the public hearing is effectively closed, because it's not continued to a date certain. So when that happens, you have 21 days to issue an order of conditions. And if we do that, within that 21 days, you have to issue an order of conditions, and the order of conditions has to, approve or deny the project, right? It sounds like, I mean, Alex's proposal to deny the project, unless they specifically submit in writing to us or on the record to us that they've withdrawn, we would have to issue an order one way or another. Just having dealt with a number of these type of situations, where an applicant was, say, not being timely with submitting revisions, my recommendation to the commission is to set a deadline, a reasonable deadline. So say 30 days is a reasonable deadline. Within 30 days, a plan needs to be submitted. Very specifically outline that that plan that is submitted must meet the general performance standards under wetland protection and under our local bylaw as it exists today. And if the applicant doesn't submit a plan that complies with local bylaw and state regs, that at that time we would deny the project for lack of information. So if you make a motion to that effect and you put on record that the applicant has this period of time to submit these materials, then once that date comes, if those materials aren't submitted, the commission is on solid legal ground to deny for lack of information. The only other basis for denial, in my opinion, is to say that the project doesn't meet performance standards. And I would be hesitant to go there right now, considering the applicant has expressed on the record that they wanted to revise to make their plan better comply with the regulations. It's just been taking a long time. And I agree, it's been a confusing process with the request to change the regulations and like what now. But I think the request to state on the record, if you're going to proceed with this project, it's got to comply with the current regulations. You have this period of time to complete it, and we expect a project submittal will comply with the regs at that time.
Okay. Didn't we already give them that date? I recall asking them to come bring their revised plans to us by, I want to say the second August meeting.
Today.
Okay. So we've requested that they bring revised plans to us today, and they did not do that.
By today, yep. Jason, let me just throw in one thing that I would like to make sure that we take into account, and that is the emails that Kyle sent, where he later requested that they be shared with us. We didn't have those emails shared with us until this meeting. I think it would be fair, and I know we're being very fair every time. I mean, yeah, nicety type of thing. I think it would make sense for us to take the email with the new information into account as we move forward and give a specific date, like I was saying, 1 month from now. They requested to be heard on the 12th. Let's do the 12th, and that's our last day, unless there's something that we have another question for or whatever. But yes, we've given a lot of opportunities. We requested that they have their things and that they have their materials in for today for discussion. But I think they're having sent some extra information that didn't make it to us, gives rise to a little reason to move it forward one more time.
Okay. I'd like to hear from the public if there's anyone from the public before we make any.
Sir,
decision.
yeah, and we're gonna, they're coming up. Aaron?
Um, sorry, I just wanted to say that if the commission is going to move forward with this, I would recommend a motion is made and that there's a vote on it, because I think we can have discussion, general discussion, as a group, but I think it's very important that there's consensus and there's a vote on the record, that provides very clear direction to the applicant of the expectations and also what the consequence of not completing the directions will be.
So that if we do decide that we're going to have a certain date by which everything needs to be in, we should do that through a motion. Is that-
Correct. And also state what is expected to be submitted by that date. So in other words, a plan that complies with our current regulations.
Okay. Bruce?
So when we get to it, Aaron, I have a draft. I think I have captured what we said. And maybe you could type it in the motion box on the screen, so we're all in agreement what the motion is. But I agree with Jason, we should hear from the public, and then we should go back to Alex's suggestion for motions.
Thanks, Bruce. Alex?
Just for the record, long before August, we asked them to submit a plan that complied with the regulations, and they failed to do that. So it wasn't just by today, it was, I think, during the spring. I have to look back, but so I don't want to be held to exactly when it was, but I know we did. So that request has been made before, and on September 10, there was an attempt to make such a motion, and we didn't get there. So thank you for letting me speak.
Absolutely. Okay, let's move to the public. I see 3 hands up. I'll be bringing each one in 2 minutes max each. And now I see 4 hands. Here we go. It doesn't appear that I can bring anyone in. Would you mind bringing them in, Aaron? I can't hear you.
I'm going to make you co-host, Andre. Sorry, I forgot to do that at the beginning. But when you add folks, can you make sure to add them as a panelist? That way it's easier to
Let's
remove them.
Okay. And just try that. Oh, here she is. Maria Kapicki, you're up. Thanks for joining us. You're muted.
So sorry. Hi, Maria Kapicki, 65 Country Corners Road. I just want to point out that, to my knowledge, Archipelago has never said that they intend to bring you something that is compliant with the bylaws. Right? That really I don't think that that's true. They keep bringing you things to tell you to change your bylaws, but I don't think that there has been any indication that they have any intention to bring you something where they're compliant. And I also want to just, I mean, I read the emails that were put in the packet, unless I missed something else. There was no new information there. So I wouldn't characterize it as new, I guess is what I'm saying. I think it's long past time that this ends. Yeah, I don't know, guys, you are amazingly tolerant and patient, but I mean, I just don't see where this is going in any fruitful way at this point. And I don't know how you can get any kind of assurances that that anything would be different. By the way, the planning board has been waiting for you guys, so I don't understand the notion of waiting until after going to the planning board. I mean, I don't get that. They're waiting for you. Plenty, you guys are the ones that have to decide about the wetlands. So that's it. I don't want to take up any more of your time. Thank you.
Thanks, Maria. We have Sherry Wilson about to join us I've just promoted you to panelist. And this doesn't seem to be working very well for me, promote people to panelist.
Oh, you just asked me to unmute again, just so you know. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is Maria, sorry. So
Hey,
wrong
you're-
person.
Yep, you're all set.
Okay.
Jennifer Hickson is on. There you go.
Good evening. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak again on this issue. Well, I'm just going to start by saying I've been to a lot of these meetings. One of them, we had the opportunity while we were waiting for the applicant. You all talked about all of the wildlife in and around your properties, and I so enjoyed that conversation. But it made me think about how this project will decimate the wildlife that we enjoy behind and in our property. And that includes bear, fox, deer, rabbits, just everything that all of you actually talked about enjoying around your properties. I have to say, I don't understand how anyone is allowed to change the rules to suit an unsuitable building for the property where this structure is supposed to go. Even the builder himself said it was a very difficult and unusual property to build this facility on. So I hope that we have reached a point where enough is enough. It is clear that the plan with the chain link fence to ruin our wetlands, to ruin our wildlife in our community is not acceptable to all of us that live here. And I hope all of you folks find a way to agree with that opinion. So thanks again, and thanks for all the work that you do on our behalf.
I need
Thank
the
you.
address.
Ms.
12
Hicks-
Autumn, sure, sorry, 12 Autumn Lane.
Thank you.
I'm a direct abutter.
Thank you. Li Jiang.
Hi, hello. This is Gustavo Oliveira and Li Jiang. We live at 68 Country Corners.
Can you help one more time with kind of spell out your name, please?
Sure, it's Gustavo, and the last name is Oliveira. I've also sent you a written comment. I hope you were able to receive it as well. But it's good to also be here. And here, can you still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thanks. Yeah, it's good to keep up with these meetings and hear your conversations and your ways of thinking. I want to start by thanking Alex for his motions and Jason's for his very pertinent inquiries, and ask that the committee recognize that your role is not just to interface with applicants and be tolerant or nice or fair to them. Also, it's necessary to be fair to us, the people you represent, or constituents, or fellow Amherst residents and citizens who have been keeping track of this, concerned about this, and as you, dedicating a lot of time to a process that personally, I don't know about you, I feel disrespected by what this company keeps doing. The request to make us change our laws to fit their interests, their lack of respect for the constant patience of the committee to request that they submit materials that conform with our laws. My understanding is that today was already the deadline. From what I understand, what Aaron was explaining, I don't see why you couldn't today vote to deny. And we're done with this. My reading of why they're pushing this so long, and why, as Maria pointed out, they're trying to push it off to planning board, and planning board is waiting for you folks in the wetlands, is that they're hoping to actually get the laws changed in their town. And they just want to string us along until they can get that process through. This is extremely anti-democratic. It's disrespectful not only to you and the committee, but to us too. So please, be nice not only to them, to us too. Be fair not only to them, but to us too. And deny this request. And please continue to protect our environment, to uphold our bylaws. We value you all so much. That's why we engage with you. Hopefully you see this as being constructive. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Oliveira.
Andre, Aaron has a point, I think, about the process.
Please, Aaron.
I just wanted to reply to that comment if I could. So I completely understand the frustration, and I just want to make something clear of what the consequence of denying could be without following sort of the regulatory protocol. So if the commission denied tonight and didn't have a regulatory basis for the denial that could stand up in court, what could happen is the commission issues the denial, it goes to Superior Court, it goes to DEP, and it's overturned in court that the commission did not follow proper procedures, and or it's overturned by DEP and a superseding order of conditions is issued, and the project moves forward without local control. So that's the consequence. And I understand everybody's impatient and wants this, like we've been patient, we've waited, and we've wanted to do this right. But if we don't follow the appropriate regulatory steps in order to get where we need to go, that could be a potential legal consequence. And so I just want to make sure that's clear, that that's why I'm recommending that we follow this procedure.
Thanks, Aaron. And I think we're all tired of, we feel like this is kind of stringing along a little bit, or I do. But we need to do things according to the rules, and and what we don't want to do is go ahead and make a denial and end up having that or making any kind of a decision and having that blow up in our face. It's, we are giving an opportunity, we are giving a warning that this is this is what I'm proposing, at least, their last opportunity. And on the 12th, we will have the materials in our hand to make a determination. Or if we didn't receive the materials, then we'll make a determination based on that. Another public comment, Sherry Wilson, you're up.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Sherry Wilson, 4 McIntosh Drive. I understand that you want to do this legally, and I want you to do it legally also. I do not want this to end up in court. But I do think that Archipelago has been stringing you along for a very long time. And the sooner you can tell them no, because they have not followed your request to make a revised plan. They have ignored your requests for months. And this is insulting to the Conservation Commission. And as somebody else said, it's insulting to us, the neighbors. It's insulting to the town. They are extremely arrogant. And I think it's time for the Conservation Commission, and I believe that's what you are trying to do on November 12th, to tell them, you are not playing by the rules. We are playing by the rules. Thank you. Goodbye. And I hope it will be a permanent goodbye. We would like housing and mixed use there, but this is a very bad proposal. Thank you for standing firm.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. I appreciate that. We have Lisa Juris. We'll try to get you in now. There we are. Ms. Juris, you're in. If you please state your name and address, please, when you're unmuted or when you're.
There's sorry about that. This is Paul Juris. I'm here with Lisa, my wife. We're at 22 McIntosh Drive. I appreciate the explanation and the legal ramifications of potentially doing things the wrong way. We certainly understand that. But from another perspective, I think what we're ultimately doing here is rewarding bad behavior. And I concur with Maria. I think that Archipelago has done everything they can to obscure and obfuscate and delay so that they can essentially get what they want. And in setting that kind of a precedent, I think what it opens the door to do is for anyone in the future to use this as a tactic to coerce the committee or anyone else in the town to do their bidding. And precedent is a very dangerous thing. So I would just ask the commission to think very seriously about the precedent that may be set here, because it not only affects future decisions, but it also affects our ability to make rules and enforce those rules in the future. So letting people know that this is a useful tactic, I think could be very risky. So I'll just leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it. Carol McNeary, you're on. If you don't mind stating once you're unmuted, your name and address, please. You're still muted. Carol McNeary,
Yeah, here I am. Carol McNeary.
welcome.
I think
Address?
115 Spencer Drive, Amherst. And we certainly have met one another in Zoom many times. I'd love to see you in real life. I'm not going to repeat myself, but I'm going to say that over the months, many months, I've been attending these hearings. I've come to have great respect for what you do. I have great respect for the town staff and the way they support you. And I respect Erin's advice. But I remember at the last meeting, it was such a wonderful example of how to work, how citizens can work together. When I can't remember the gentleman, the man who came to talk on his own time about the facilitating ditching for that would help the farmers. You know what I'm referring to?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So all of you worked together. There was conversation back and forth. It was constructive. nobody took exception to not getting their first request just the way they wanted it. I thought that was a really good example of putting the expertise and commitment to a really good outcome. I'm really not being sarcastic, but I honestly don't see how the materials that I've seen presented as new, compelling evidence that include pictures of a trolley, consultant studies that really aren't to the point, just a flurry of sketches. Now we need new bylaws and emails. I do not know what are in those emails, but I don't think they were submitted within the 1 week deadline. I don't think that's helpful. And I think that this commission shows in your interactions with most the people who come before you how it should be working. And so I look forward to a legal outcome that benefits the community. And I really do thank you for what you've been doing.
Thank you, Carol. A lot of thought put into our decisions. I appreciate when people notice that. I'm going to bring Katie in. Katie, you're in. If you don't mind muting yourself, tell us your name and address.
Thank you. My name is Katie Naughton. I live at 340 Spencer Drive, Amherst. I'd like to say that I think Archipelago has not been respectful of the commission throughout this process. When it became clear that the commission was not going to approve their original plan, they modified it slightly. But since then, they've relied on such arguments as, oh, it's not really a wetlands. And, oh, you can just change your bylaws. And, oh, you can just change your bylaws. They've said that about 3 or 4 times. One tiny little sentence is all it takes, they say. This is like saying, oh, you have a brick house. I'd like to add 1 more brick to your house. It's 1 tiny little brick just in your house. It'll be so easy. Well, no, it really won't. And I want to commend you for seeing through this obfuscation and ducking and diving and trying to hold them to account and get them to give them what they should have done in the first place, which was take your comments to heart and actually try to come up with a plan that meets the regulations and the bylaws, instead of seeming to think that they are above such things and you have to change your minds and your regulations to suit them. So I appreciate you being steadfast. I agree with the other speakers that it's unfortunate that we have to give them one more chance, because I do think we've given them plenty of chances. But I also see the need to be prudent, because I'm pretty sure if there's a loophole, they will try to wiggle through it. And so we don't want to give them any loopholes. So thank you for your hard work, and hopefully we can bring this to a successful conclusion. Thank you.
Thanks for your comment, Katie. It looks like that's it for public comments. A little before, how do we, Aaron, how do we get our commenters to, how do we move them back without removing them entirely from our meeting?
I think they have to actually remove themselves as panelists. So if folks who spoke could remove themselves as panelists, that would be great.
They hit the upper right there.
I believe so. If I remove them, I believe it'll kick them out of the meeting, and so I don't want to do that.
That's what I've done in the past, and it didn't work out very well.
Yeah. Andre, could I just make one point of order before we move on to a motion?
You can, and I wanted to make another comment as well. Why don't you let me just do this quick comment, just to make sure that that folks are aware. Last week we did discuss this proposed change by Archipelago, or by Kyle from Archipelago, and we're not going to make those changes. We decided not to. So just want to make sure that everybody's clear on that. All right, Aaron, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just wanted to, it just occurred to me, Andre, that you are not going to be present for the November 12th meeting. And I didn't know if, I think the deadline date should remain the same for 30 days from now, but wondering if we might consider if just to get your thoughts on that, considering that just as a reminder that you won't be here for that hearing. And I don't know what other scheduling issues we might have because we're only down to 5 voting members on this, and that could be a problem if we don't have a quorum.
Is the 26th is that Thanksgiving? I would imagine that's the day before Thanksgiving. Is
The
that
day before Thanksgiving, the 26th. Yeah. So we'll be talking scheduling for November later in the meeting, but that could be a problem.
Yeah, that would work very well. But I could certainly be here, but yeah, I won't be there November 12th. And would probably want to be there for that meeting. So maybe we can have it on a different day, like in December.
Yeah, that was going to be my recommendation. And I know we had talked about shifting our December meetings to doing like December 3rd and December 17th. That way we could still have 2 meetings in December. So if
you don't mind, let's get to that. Let's cross that bridge when we get to it. We still have some more commenting. We do have a couple of motions that Alex put out. And so if let's see where we're taking this. I see several folks from the public who are in here as panelists. If you can remove yourself from the panel, that'd be great.
How do we do that?
I would look up in your upper right of your picture and hit that 3 little dots that are there. And do you know how to do that, Aaron?
should be remove panelist or exit as panelist. Let me see.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that, not in my picture and not in my participants list.
Yeah, I also just have the option to leave the thing entirely. So I have to get my daughter in bed. Thank you. I'll see y'all in December, I guess. We'll see.
All right. Well,
Okay, yeah, I'll just leave and come back. I think that's going to be the simplest.
Thank you all. Okay. Let's see. So we were discussing, hang on a second. We were discussing what to do next with this application. Alex had a couple of motions to deny, right? Alex, can you explain again your motions? Were you looking at motions to deny? Or Bruce, if you took the notes.
Yes, and I have one more motion, but those motions were not seconded. And I'm happy to rethink them, given Aaron's comments, because I too want to follow correct process and make plain our intentions and do it in a way that comports with due process by the commission. And so given that my motions were not seconded, we don't have to amend them. We could rethink them as a group, and I'm happy with that. However, I did want to offer one additional amendment or one additional thought, and that is to move that the commission will not change its wetland regulations to accommodate the request made by Archipelago and will not discuss the matter with Archipelago in the future. And I put it that way because although we had talks on the 10th, they were not present. And it was not clear that as a result, even though they watched the video, I don't think we ever put our thoughts in a motion. So now I put it on the table.
Yeah. Right.
And I can go over the other thoughts, but I'd like to hear from the commissioners on what I just suggested, if that's okay with you, Chair. So we
Yeah,
can be clear.
I do feel like we did kind of put a top on that bottle, if you would, but yeah, I mean, we have no information from Archipelago or anyone that has made us decide to change the regulations. That's what we did last time. We discussed that as far as I'm concerned, but any other thoughts, I'd like to hear them. I don't see the need to tell them that that we're denying it. The other thing is, you know, they took a hearing and turned that hearing into a request to change the bylaws. You know, requests should come in emails or public comment, really. They took the time that we had set aside for a hearing and didn't even provide anything to the hearing. Anyway, but I feel like I'm babbling here a little bit. They're not, they requested we change it and we decided not to. Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, so sorry, Alex, did you put another motion on the table? And if so, can you repeat what it was? And
I wrote it down, so I'm gonna turn off my video so that I can read what I wrote. Hold on. I move that the commission will not change its wetland regulations to accommodate the request made by Archipelago and will not discuss the subject with Archipelago in the future. And that's what I wrote. And I'll just say that that goes on record that we're not going to be spending our volunteer time talking about this subject anymore of changing our regulations because they asked us to. It doesn't mean sometime in the future. I mean, we've already suggested that we change our regulations, but it wasn't at the request of Archipelago, and it wasn't with their project in mind. There are lots of other things that need adjusting, but so my motion simply addresses what Archipelago asked, which had frankly nothing to do with their NOI, had nothing to do with their project. It had to do with other regulations. So did I answer your question, Jason?
yeah, and I think I would be comfortable seconding that motion.
All right. So we have a motion to notify Archipelago that we will not be reconsidering their request for a change in the bylaw. And what was the second portion of that motion, Alex?
Yeah, Chair, I didn't say in my motion that we would notify them. It's simply a motion that the commission will not change its regulations to accommodate the request made by Archipelago, comma, and will not discuss the subject with Archipelago in the future.
Okay, so Alex with a motion and Jason seconded it. Let me just say something about give a quick opinion on that. We can say that we're not going to discuss this with them in the future. What happens when they begin discussing it with us?
then you tell them, you tell them it's inappropriate. And we're not gonna do that.
Well, I think we can do that already without a motion, meaning that if they, I mean, when we get to, let's say, November 12th, whichever, when we have our meeting, and if they start to talk about changing the regulations, they're out of order. I mean, we're going to that next meeting so that they can present to us X, Y, and Z that we're requesting.
Right, but you didn't tell them not to talk about it when they were out of order in the first place. And by making it a motion, you have something to point to that the commission decided.
Okay. All right, so any other comments? Bruce?
Well, I have several things. Aaron, is it a problem that we have not been able to ask to achieve the public folks who are still panelists from leaving the meeting while we are going ahead with the meeting? Is that a problem? Because
I don't think so. I think they're waiting to hear the conclusion of this hearing before they leave, and they don't want to miss the hearing to leave
fair
the
enough.
meeting.
Yeah, just checking.
Yeah.
My thought is that if Archipelago or any other company wants changes in various town bylaws and regulations in various ways, there are lots of processes for doing that. And to say now that we're not going to talk with them about it puts us in a weird position. If 6 months from now there is a discussion by whatever process is being used by the town where we need to discuss it, I suppose we can just withdraw our prohibition at that point. But that feels like a problem to me. That's all I'll say about that.
Thanks, Bruce. Rachel?
Yeah, I had a similar thought. I feel like we may want to try to avoid being reactive to what was thrown at us by Archipelago. We do have a set of regulations that we hold everyone to. And I wonder if our wording of a motion might be that we're requiring Archipelago to come back within the 30-day period with the materials that we requested and discuss their project only. And we recommend that any future discussions about changes be pursued through another appropriate method, not in the space of this hearing or this commission's conversation. And then I think if they bring it up at a meeting, then we'll deal with it then.
Thanks, Rachel. I tend to agree. Go ahead, Jason.
So I took Alex's motion to mean we wouldn't be discussing it with them further in the hearing.
Right.
Not as a blanket ever.
No, that's right, in the hearing.
Okay, that helps.
So can we modify the motion to just state that we won't, when we hold the hearing as yet to be determined date, that we're asking them to provide all of the information to, that I suspect somebody will make a second motion for, that at that hearing, we're not going to discuss this because we've already discussed it at our last meeting. We came to a conclusion and that it would be inappropriate to continue to try to have that conversation in the space of that hearing.
So, yeah, Jason, I think that is something that we can control from the chairperson's position without actually putting it into a motion that we will not discuss it. I'm not sure. I don't feel comfortable putting that into a motion like that, where we give ourselves zero openings for discussing it. Not that I'm looking to discuss it or not at all, but I think it's so. Number one, we're all agreeing. We all know that it's inappropriate for during a hearing for somebody to come and revisit something that we've already put down and said no. So I think I wouldn't allow any further discussion like that to go on. And I think if we do it that way, we're not tying our hands or their hands, or you know, we'll just put them on notice. As far as the first part of the motion, I'll go for that. Alex?
They are going to bring it up on the 12th. You can be certain of that. And
Well,
personally, I'm interested in economizing our time. If they bring it up, it will be 20 minutes.
no, it won't. They have 5.
Excuse me?
I'm sorry. They don't have 20 minutes. They have 5.
They'll take 20 minutes.
They will not take 20 minutes.
Personally, I'm just interested in economizing the commission's time. So I'll strike the second part of the motion and just say that we're put on the record that we're not going to participate in that we're not going to change our regs at their request, and I don't sense there's a consensus right now on the commission on this.
I think if you worded it something like the commission will not, the commission has denied their request, Archipelago's request to change the town wetland bylaws, and has decided not to continue to discuss it during any hearings. During hearings. I mean,
that's fine. That's perfect.
All right, let me get it. Say it again.
The commission has decided to deny Archipelago's request to change the town wetland bylaws.
It's the regulations, isn't it?
Yes.
Bylaws are, yeah, the bylaw regulations, town wetland bylaw regulations, right?
Yep.
And any and future attempts during hearings will not, let's see, future attempts to discuss it during hearings will be denied. Or something else. Go ahead, Rachel. I'm getting myself a little confused here.
I would say if we go that route, that we would say any attempt to discuss this matter in hearings associated with this project are denied,
Yeah.
will not be discussed.
Hmm.
Because it's within this hearing that we don't want to continue discussing it. Sorry, we've already discussed it a lot.
That is the intent.
Yeah.
What do you think, Bruce? Do you have some
Let me read it again.
Okay.
So, the Conservation Commission, the motion is that the Conservation Commission has decided to deny Archipelago's request to change town wetlands regulations, and any attempt to further discuss such changes in the hearing will be denied.
And the hearing associated with their application, right?
Yeah.
Can I give it a shot?
Yeah.
Please do.
The Conservation Commission has denied Archipelago's request to change the Town of Amherst wetland bylaw and regulations, and agreed not to discuss it during hearings associated with the project.
Excellent.
Thank
How
you.
about that?
Okay, so as a point of process, I'm going to ask Erin to, if we are voting on what she just said, I need her to send it to me for the minutes. In just exactly what she just said, because I haven't captured it.
Sure, I can do that, Bruce.
All right.
So we need, if anyone's up for that, we'll need a motion for that.
Sorry, we already have a motion that was seconded.
Yep.
We need to vote on that before we make another.
Unless you withdraw it.
Yeah, okay. We were trimming it, whatever. Okay.
I will withdraw my second of the original motion.
And I can withdraw my original motion to be replaced by what Aaron has just read to us, if it's presented as a motion.
So Aaron, can you read that again and see if anybody decides to move that?
The commission has denied Archipelago's request to change the town of Amherst wetland bylaw regulations and agreed not to discuss it during hearings associated with this project.
So moved.
I will second that.
Alex with a motion and Jason with a second. Jason,
Aye.
Rachel,
Aye.
Bruce,
Aye.
Alex.
Aye. That's one small step.
It's one
Thank you.
small step. Thanks.
All right. I would like to make a motion that Archipelago Group, I would make a motion to require that revised plans be submitted by the applicant no later than October
24th.
October 24th, 2025. Said plan must meet the current wetland bylaw and regulations, Protection Act and stormwater regulations. If submitted plans do not comply with state and local regulations, the application will be denied for lack of information.
Jason with a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Alex with a second. Alex,
Aye.
Bruce,
Aye.
Rachel,
Aye.
Jason,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. All right. So
Together
now-
we do good work.
that's very good. Very quick at the end.
Thanks, a village.
We just need to figure out when to continue it to now.
That's the next issue is a date. I won't be around on the 12th. I would look for the next date in December, the first date in December. I don't have that in front of me here, but I can check.
Oh, the proposal was to shift the December meetings to the 3rd and the 17th to avoid the problem of Christmas Eve, in effect.
Mhm. Does anyone oppose that?
I don't have a calendar in front of me.
Oh,
Could you
so
explain, Bruce, excuse me, hey, Chair, can I speak?
yeah, please.
I'm a little confused, Bruce. Yeah, I'll bring up a calendar, thank you. What was, or Aaron, could you remind me what we decided to do on shifting meetings?
Well, so Andre isn't going to be here on the meeting on the 12th. And so there could be potential conflicts with having a quorum because we are down to 5 members who can vote on this project without Andre. And so the thinking was that and also the second meeting in November falls the day before Thanksgiving, which could also present scheduling issues for people. I know it will be one for me. So if we canceled the second meeting in November and then shifted our December meetings, as Bruce suggested, to the 3rd and the 17th, then we can still have 2 meetings in December and not have a conflict with Christmas Eve. So I guess the discussion is to continue this to December 3rd at 7:15, if commissioners are okay with that shift in schedule.
So December 3 is the first Wednesday.
Yes, it is.
And the 17th is the next, is it 17th, I believe. Yeah, is the next one. Jason had his hand up. Jason?
Yeah, just out of curiosity, since we know we'll have potential quorum issues on November 12th, and then November 26th is the day before Thanksgiving. Should we think about rescheduling the November meetings? Should we schedule November for the 5th and the 19th? So we still have 2 meetings in November, and we're avoiding at least the day before Thanksgiving. And then we could also shift in December, the 3rd and the 17th, and that would still give us a roughly every other week schedule.
Well, so it's been, since I've been with the town, it's been pretty common for us to only have one meeting in November. Usually it gets a little quiet towards the end of November. And I know Andre is going to be away until the 19th, so I doubt he'll be here on the 19th. So we won't have a chair for either meeting in November.
Okay.
So just trying to think on all these things.
Well, then, if we know we're going to have no quorum on the 12th, should we just cancel that meeting?
Well, we may have a quorum of 4 members. We just won't have a quorum of voting members for this particular hearing. So,
Oh, for
Hope-
this one, yes, yes.
right, for this particular hearing. So that doesn't mean we can't conduct business. It's just for this hearing, we could potentially have a problem if any other person misses it. Hopefully we'll have new members appointed very soon and it won't.
So,
I'm
then-
good with the December reschedule.
cool. Let me let me just start by addressing, can we address let's address this GZA meeting. It looks like we're all okay then with the 3rd being one of the dates. So why don't we make a motion to continue the public hearing for DEP number 0890752 to December 3rd, 2025 at 7:15 p.m. So we're looking for that motion.
So moved.
I
Bruce?
second.
Rachel with a second. Rachel?
Aye.
Bruce?
Aye.
Jason?
Aye.
Alex?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. So now, on the 3rd, I think a little bit later on, we'll talk about all of our schedules if that's something that we need to do, figure out when we might not have a quorum. I'll be out till the 19th, the 27th to the 19th. Jason.
So as a potential confusing factor here, we've made the motion that they have to have all the material to us by the 24th. If they get material to us by the 24th and it does not meet the requirements, then and it's denied, then does that automatically cancel the hearing?
No.
We would deny it in our hearing.
Okay.
The denial has to be done in a public hearing. So we would bring the whatever paperwork, whatever instruments they've provided us, and review them. And if they've provided us none, then we won't have anything new to approve, to use to approve. So
Okay.
they'll provide whatever we've requested. Alex.
Yeah, just to be clear, we're talking about the 24th in the middle of talking about October, November, December. And I simply asked 24th of which month?
So we're talking about the 24th of November as the date as the deadline for
We already voted on October 24th.
I'm sorry, the 20. Yes, 4th of October, Alex. So that they have a month to provide all their stuff.
And it gives
Sorry about the mix up.
And it gives Aaron, in the middle of 3 different holiday periods, adequate opportunity to dig into it as deeply as it needs to be done.
Okay. So, Rachel, I'm sorry.
Are there any procedural constraints about the time of their submission materials and waiting for the hearing to come after those materials? Is there any constraint to the commission on that front?
I think just the fact that we're requiring them to have all their stuff all their materials in by a certain date. I mean, they've missed several other deadlines. This deadline will be hard and fast, and that's it.
I'd like to hear Aaron's comment on what Rachel just asked about.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess my feeling on that is because it was a motion that was seconded, that if the materials don't come in by that date, then the commission has cause to deny on the 3rd of December, just outright deny on that date. So they would need to get those materials in by October 24th. And if they're not in, the commission has legal cause to deny. I don't think there's any, if they do submit by that deadline, it gives me adequate time to review the materials and come prepared with recommendations for that next meeting. So I don't see there being any real issue with there being a lag between the submission deadline and the hearing date.
And
That's what I hope. Thank you.
we're not required to respond with any particular time frame then. Like within 30 days of their submission, we're not required. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you, Rachel. Alex?
Yeah, just a procedural what if. So say on the 24th of October, they submit and there's big chunks missing. And then they file after the 24th additional information to supplement what they submitted on the 24th. Are they allowed to do that?
That's up to us, right?
I'm just asking Aaron or anybody.
I mean,
So-
I think we cross that bridge when we come to it. I don't think we can really anticipate all of the issues, but I think what we're looking here is a good faith effort to submit a plan that complies.
Yeah, so in my other life in the regulatory arena, I have seen people submit stuff to make a deadline that was incomplete and then revise it. So I just wanted to be clear on that we are anticipating a complete application.
Yeah, and if you guys feel that it's incomplete or you're unable to vote on those materials that were submitted on that date, you can deny for lack of information. You have the legal cause to do that.
Jason?
I would just state that it's my expectation that a packet that meets the regulations is a complete packet. If you submit a packet that does not have a bunch of information there, you can't by definition meet regulations if you fail to submit information. So a packet, it's my opinion that a packet that meets regulations is a complete packet.
That would be mine too.
Yep, agreed. Thanks. Anything else before we move from the archipelago hearing?
Chair, did we have a motion on the October? This is not a sign of age.
October 24th.
Did we vote? Did we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, the conversation wandered and I wasn't quite sure what we decided.
Yeah, we've woven quite a good piece of fabric here. All right, so we're good to move to the next to other business. I think let me just double check. I think at the very beginning we had, okay, the land management updates.
Could Bruce repeat what we approved?
Which of the several motions do you want?
Well, never mind the one that we're denying their request to amend the wetland regs. I'm interested in the one that requires them to file by October 24.
It'll be on the screen because Aaron typed it out for us. It's right
Right
there.
here highlighted, Alex.
So have we voted on that yet?
Yes,
Okay, and that was unanimous vote.
yes.
Thank you.
Andre, I just wanted to let you know that Alan Weiss is in the meeting at this point if we want to go back to hearing number 1.
All right. Okay, good. Well, let's do that. I'll bring them in. We'll get our hearing number 1 done. Alan, you're on.
I am unmuted.
And you are unmuted. Let me just start this up again here. This hearing is being held as required by the provisions of Chapter 131, Section 40 of the General Law of the Commonwealth, an act relative to the protection of wetlands, as most recently amended in Article 3.31, Wetlands Protection, under the Town of Amherst General Bylaws. This is a request for determination from Cold Spring Environmental on behalf of Fred Halk Family Estate to determine whether work to repair a septic system is subject to Wetlands Protection Act and Town of Amherst Wetland Protection Bylaw and Regulations at 317 Shutesbury Road, map 9B, lot 52. Alan is ready to present, I'm sure.
Greetings, how are you? I apologize, I had a link issue and early on, and I also thought it was 7:35. Aaron probably knows the original schedule was mistakenly set up for the 10th, whatever. I'm here, that's the point. Okay, so we're talking about a septic system repair at 317 Shutesbury Road for the Hoke residents, and yeah, very simple. The system is going in roughly where the old system is. We tried to maintain all setbacks as we normally would and as required by Title V. The commission came out the other day and we discussed a few things such as trees and offset from the house. And the only thing within a certain jurisdictional range would be the footing drain of the house. Not, in my opinion, anything else. But certainly worth discussion at the time, of the site meeting and observation of its location. There was a tree also rather substantial in size that needs to be cut. I wished we didn't have to. You probably know historically from my work, I try to avoid that, but in this case, this tree is leaning towards the house. With the root structure I would expect there, we would undermine its ability to remain stable. And I, just think it has to be that its removal is appropriate. There was one response that Aaron can mention as well that involved a abutter. And I spoke with that abutter personally. And she has no issues with the septic repair as proposed at this point, her words. So that's where we are. Thank you, Aaron.
This is the system area here and the erosion controls. I don't, as staff, have any comments on this. I drafted a special conditions, and I did speak with the abutter. And after she spoke with Alan, she was satisfied that her concerns were addressed. So, Andre, I think you're muted.
Thank you. The trees that are in the pictures there are that have an X on them, those are the ones that are going.
Yes.
Okay. All righty. I have no questions, but let's go to the public here, see if there's anyone in the public who has comments, and then we'll open it up to the commissioners. If you are in the public and you have any comments, raise your hand. I'm seeing no hands up. We'll turn it over to the commissioners. Anyone with any questions? Alex?
I don't have any questions. Bruce and I were on the site visit. And I'll just say that there was some discussion about whether or not this project was even jurisdictional. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Does any other comments or anything that might help? Okay. Well, with that, then we're looking at a motion.
I'll do it.
yeah.
I move to close the public hearing and issue a positive determination of applicability, checking box 5, confirming jurisdiction pursuant to the Wetlands Protection Town of Amherst General Bylaws, Article 3.31 and regulations, and a negative determination of applicability, checking box 3 under the Wetlands Protection Act with special conditions as drafted and discussed.
That's Bruce with a motion.
Second,
And Alex with a second. Alex?
aye.
Listen.
Aye.
Rachel?
Aye.
Bruce?
Aye.
I'm an aye. So, Alan, thank you very much and good luck with the project.
Thank you so much. Have a good night, folks.
Thank you, Alan.
Good night.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you noticed. I saw the hand up. I didn't realize that it was Alan from the hearing. So, okay. We have other business. Request for minor administrative changes. Aaron?
Yes, so the first change is, I would say, extremely negligible, but I just wanted to make you aware of it. The Montague Road battery storage project, they were not able to start construction this fall, so they're pushing off the start of construction to the spring, and as such, they'll be pushing off the start of their mitigation planning as well. So they're just letting us know that the project has not yet begun. And there's a letter that asserts that I don't think you have to approve anything. It's mostly just letting you know that that's, they're not scheduling to start till the spring. The other one is the Sweet Alice Conservation Area. I mentioned earlier that we're building a boardwalk, which had already been approved under previous order of conditions approved by the board. Kestrel Land Trust had approached the town. There's an area between the Kestrel headquarters and the pond where there's currently some wood chips and like flagstones or Goshen stone kind of walkway area. And I guess a bunch of people have been tripping on it, and it's they'd like to put in more of a bog bridge type structure there. It's in the buffer zone, sort of very, it's a really feels like an upland area really where they're putting it, but it's in the buffer to the pond. And so they're requesting to install that. And I don't have any issues with it. It's about 75 feet of bog bridging and will get some of the compaction away from the pond's edge. So I think it'll be a good thing.
Thanks, Aaron. Bruce?
So Aaron, is
Bruce, go
there,
ahead.
is there any, will there need to be erosion control for this?
No, I don't think there's even, they're just placing boards down as footings essentially, and then building on top of it.
Okay. Okay, I take your word for it. I can't picture it, so.
Mhm.
All right. Any other questions?
So we should have a motion for the second one for the bog bridging approval, just because that is a, there's a, a standing order of conditions and there is a change to the,
So I move that for the Sweet Alice Conservation Area, we approve the bog bridge in buffer zone DEP number 089-0689.
Is Alex for the motion?
Second,
Bruce for the second. Bruce?
aye.
Bruce?
Aye.
Rachel?
Abstain.
Alex?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. So we've got, it's, motion's gone through. The request for a certificate of compliance.
Yes. So for 20 green leaves, I'm not requesting that I'm not suggesting that the commission approve that tonight. I did do a site visit and I observed some areas where the erosion controls had failed and sediment material had entered a wetland. A little concerning considering they had an erosion control monitor who had asserted that the site was stable and all work was complete. Anyways, I've asked them to clean it up and remove the sediment and seed down the area of the wetland that had been impacted. So I'm waiting for that work to be completed. So I'll just no action on that tonight and I'll keep you posted once that's been resolved. The 17 Juniper Drive is a local bylaw only NOI. And I was out and conducted a site visit and I am in favor of the commission issuing a complete certificate of compliance for that project tonight.
All right, well, we're looking for a motion to issue a complete certificate of compliance for NOI 99-0654.
So moved.
Alex with a motion?
Second.
Jason seconds. Jason?
Aye.
Bruce?
Aye.
Lucy?
Aye.
Alex?
Aye.
Andre, did you vote?
Yes, I'm an aye. Yep. I wasn't very loud, sorry. I get a little bit, my voice goes down as I get more tired.
All right.
Now we have orders of conditions for West Street DPW, DEP number 089-0761. If you've had an opportunity to take a look at them in our packet, we're looking for motions. Aaron, would you mind putting them up there just so that folks... Awesome. So, Aaron, can you, so what we have is orders of conditions that were needed to be drafted. Is that, am I right there, Aaron?
Yes, so we had the first one was for the DPW project on West Street. The public hearing was closed at the last meeting. There's draft orders of conditions in the folder. I included sort of the standard boilerplate as well as a weekly monitoring report. I required some phased pre-construction meetings as well. So a pre-construction at the start of the DPW work and then a second pre-construction at the start of the contractor who's doing the roadway work. And during that process, a designee at DPW, Paul Dethier, will be conducting the erosion control inspection reports throughout the project.
Great. Thanks, Aaron. Any questions or any comments? If not, we're looking for that motion. If you don't remember, that's the place that's right near Mill Lane, just above Mill Lane, where they're gonna bring the they're gonna get rid of a bridge and bring the sidewalk out toward the road and go around that bridge area.
Well, as the person who lives closest to it, I move to issue an order of conditions DEP number 089-0761 pursuant to Wetlands Protection Town of Amherst General Bylaw, Article 3.31 and regulations, and the Wetlands Protection Act with boilerplate conditions under both the Wetlands Protection Act and Town of Amherst General Bylaw with noted special conditions as drafted.
Second.
Bruce for the motion, Alex seconds. Alex?
Aye.
Rachel?
Aye.
Jason?
Aye.
I'm sorry, who did
Aye.
Okay, Bruce, and I'm an aye. So the second one is the is the hospital, or,
Yes.
so,
Yep. So I drafted this one. There's sort of broken out special conditions for the invasive species management. So I did require that they use the cut and dab method and that all of the invasive species removal be by hand. If they want to use mechanical means for the invasives removal, they have to come back to the commission specifically for permission to do that. I was concerned about that because mechanical removal can actually cast more seed and cause more spread and infestation. And so hand removal is much more exact. Also requiring that, so the cut and dab method is what the commission has approved. If they want to use foliar spray method, they have to actually come back to me and provide a rationale listing the specific species that they're proposing to spray. There's requirements for them to provide the name, contact information, and license number for the individual who's conducting the spraying. They're going to be required to cordon off the area where the spraying is taking place and put up signage that indicates that the spraying is happening and when. There'll be signage required around the proposed mitigation area, signage required around the perimeter of the landscaped yards to ensure that landscapers do not mow into the wetland again, and also that it's clear that they can't dump or put any materials in the wetland. And an annual monitoring report so that they have to report back to us for the first 3 years to basically provide us an update on how the mitigation and the vegetation management is going. Those are special conditions. Just, I don't know that that's all of them, but just a gist.
I move to issue order of conditions DEP number 089-0764 pursuant to Wetlands Protection, Town of Amherst General Bylaw Article 3.31 and regulations, and Wetland Protection Act with boilerplate conditions under both the Wetland Protection Act and Town of Amherst General Bylaw with noted special conditions as drafted.
Second.
Alex with a motion and Jason with a second. Jason?
Before we vote,
Yes. Please.
so Aaron, given all the signage, do the signs have a phone number if someone's concerned about the idea that there's all this spraying going on right there? Is there a phone number on each sign? And if so, what number is this phone going to be going to?
I hadn't anticipated the need to put a phone number, but if you guys think there should be a phone number.
Well, I would encourage it. It's right next to a hospital. There's a lot of people who haven't the slightest idea of all the stuff we've gone through to make this very clear. And I think there should be a number that anyone who saw one of the signs could call and say, well, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I guess my only concern with that is if they start calling the town every time the treatment's happening and we're getting
Well-
like 100 calls from people that I would have trouble fielding. I mean,
Okay,
if you guys want to do that, I mean, the other option is to maybe have the person who's conducting the treatments be the person that they call, but I'm open to the idea. I just
Okay.
foresee that the town will be getting a lot of phone calls about it.
How about if we provide, do we have some kind of a link or a, I forget what these things are called right here, but something.
Q code.
Right, a code that would link somebody to the public comment thing. That would be a really good idea to have.
Yeah, I can look into that. If you'd like, I could if we amend the motion to include that condition that we include a QR code for the public comment to the Conservation Commission, then we can require that on the signs.
Yeah, if people are up for it, think that's necessary. Frankly, I think there should be some kind of a QR code, and if we're going to encourage people to call, and if they see something, that a QR code that would link it would be great. I don't know how those things work.
The reason I brought this up is because when DEP sprayed the East Hampton Noshawak Pond, they had several signs all around the pond saying, call this number if you have any questions about what we're doing. And it's sort of the same thing. It's like, I think we need to do something.
I have a problem with the QR code in that it doesn't get an immediate response, and we're talking about a hospital and people's sensitivities. I'd rather have somebody answer the phone or answer their question. So the QR code is sort of a cul-de-sac.
Okay. Now,
Aaron, sorry, I have a suggestion. Can we the number go to the administrative assistant that you and I've discussed a couple of times, and that she would have a stock answer to give if someone called?
So, you throw something else in?
It's a suggestion.
Go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted.
No, it's fine. I'm done.
So I I guess I feel a little on the spot with that one, just because we're just sort of getting kicked off with maybe some minute taking assistance, which is sort of in training. So I'm a little apprehensive about directing the public to somebody in the inspections department who might not have all the details. If the commission feels strongly, we can just use the conservation department phone number, just anticipating, my workload and stuff that it could present, and especially because this is essentially going to be either permanent signage and or signage that's going to be there for multiple years while these treatments are underway. So
I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. I assumed it was during the spraying there was something that tell people that spraying is underway.
Yeah. For the temporary signage, I think it would be a little less of a problem. But it would be over a multi-year period, and probably for a series of months that it would be out while they're doing the
Okay, well
treatments.
then I would just, if it can be done easily, fine. If not, I withdraw it.
Okay.
Aaron, as I understood it, there'll be very minimal spraying, and the rest is going to be cut and dab.
Correct.
Okay, so the spraying is going to be left to a minimum.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm open to just taking it straight on, or to adding something. I'm neither here nor there.
Okay. And was the second to the motion Jason?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So does somebody want to amend that motion, or are
No.
we as is? Okay. So what do we have? We had Alex with a motion and Jason with a second.
Yep.
Okay, Jason.
Aye.
Bruce.
Aye.
Rachel.
Aye. Yeah.
Alex.
Aye.
Aye. Did we want to go through monitoring reports today?
No, I don't think so. I guess my one comment on monitoring reports is, it's been very challenging keeping up with them. I am reading them, and I'm trying to get back with people on corrections, but if commissioners could, when you're looking at packets, spend time, if you're able to, looking at those, it's especially helpful, and also for you guys to have your finger on the pulse of the type of issues that I'm dealing with applicants. It hasn't been bad because it's been drought. But I am concerned with particularly the number of big projects that we have, large construction projects. We've got Ball Lane, we've got Fort River, we've got the Amherst College geothermal, and then I just had a number of projects kick off that are going to have monitoring reports. So there's going to be a pickup in the number of reports, and it's when it starts raining, I'm concerned it's going to be challenging for me to keep up on them. So any help folks can offer reviewing those and looking at them would be really helpful.
Yeah, that's great. There we go. We got some homework. Alex?
Yeah, Aaron, you mentioned Amherst College and the geothermal. I was down there the other day and I happened to notice that all the wattles have plastic netting. I don't know if you happen to see that, and I don't even know if it makes a difference in that particular spot.
Yeah, so
leave it to you.
wattles have the plastic netting. That's in my experience that I have not seen wattles that have biodegradable netting. The expectation is that the wattles are removed. The blankets are really what is a bigger concern, and that's because when the blankets go down and they seed, they usually leave the blankets in place and let them decompose. So if there's plastic in those, then the plastic stays, whereas the wattles are taken and thrown into a dumpster, or cut open and the plastic is thrown away.
Okay. So now we're going to go to public comment. If there's any final comment that the public has
There's no one there.
left, that's just 6 participants is all I see here. Yeah, us. Okay. So no public comments. And do we have any topics that were not anticipated in the last 48 hours? Aaron?
So just to clarify on our schedule, to make sure I got this right, we're staying on for the meeting on the 8th as scheduled. I'm not sure if we're going to have a quorum on that date, but we're attempting to stay on. And I believe depending on Bruce's availability with internet, we may end up having to kick everything to the 22nd, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it on the 8th.
I'll do my best.
Yeah.
My utmost.
Yeah, absolutely. So the 8th, the 22nd, and then in November, we're only having one meeting on the 12th. And then the 2 meetings in December will be on the 3rd and the 17th. So those are the dates that I have through to get us through the end of the year.
Now, Bruce, you'll need to chair on the 22nd and the 12th. Weren't we going to do the 3rd and the of this? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you're right, Andre.
October and November. Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
So I'll be back. I'll be back.
Okay. All right.
Alrighty. So I suppose we look for a motion.
So moved.
I move we adjourn.
A second.
Alex with a motion and Jason with a second. Jason.
Aye.
Bruce.
Aye.
Rachel.
Aye.
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Folks,
All right.
thanks for your patience tonight.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
Night.